when my notification pops up. It's not just a call. It's a warning. To all the other channels that think they're better. But they're not.
So make sure to hit the like button and subscribe!
Sup, folders? So in today's video, I'm going to be covering The Batman. I'm going to be covering the non-spoiler section and the spoiler section. So if you haven't seen the movie, I'm going to do a non-spoiler section for you guys. And then I'm going to do a spoiler section for the people who have seen the movie. Or if you want to come back here after you see the movie, I'd be glad to talk about it with you. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Let me know if you want me to talk about this movie more, do little theories, a little this, a little that. If you guys want to hear me talk about it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and have a fantastic day. Let's get right into it. Alright, here's the non-spoiler section. So if you haven't seen the movie, here you go. I will let you know when I'm talking about spoilers when we get there. So The Batman is a 3-hour-long detective horror story. So if you aren't ready to see that, then you're not gonna like it. Also, you will have to be willing to think while watching the movie. So if you want to watch a casual movie and just like sit there and chill, this is not the movie for you. The main thing, I think it's the most important to remember, because how long has it been since you've went to a movie that wasn't a Marvel movie? Like in the theaters. When was the last time? Years ago, probably. Probably back in 2019. So this is a 180 of what you are expecting. This is not a Marvel movie. And just because they're superhero movies doesn't mean they're gonna be similar at all. Am I gonna bash DC or Marvel in this video? Maybe a little bit. But I think they both do what they're best at really good.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
If you don't know what I'm talking about, Marvel makes good, multiversal, connected universe, fun movies that can also be emotional and beautifully shot and sad and just amazing. And what DC is good at is making solo, unconnected universe stories that are darker. So that's what you should be expecting. I think this is the scariest thing for DC right now, is if Marvel is able to get mature content out of their Marvel movies, DC's fault, because that's what DC is good at, and I think they need to jump on that opportunity rather than trying to do this connected universe thing. But I think it's already too late, because they got Black Adam, Shazam, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Superman, and all their other, and Flash. I don't think any of them are really gonna work for me. And I'm not really interested in seeing any of them. They have to realize that they're not Marvel. And that's what everyone else has to realize, that when you go see a DC movie, it is a DC movie, not a Marvel movie.
Batman movie was fine, dude. I thought it'd be more fun. I don't know. It was like a Marvel movie with none of the, like, comedy. Like, I don't think I laughed. I don't think there was a single joke in the movie.
Fool of a took.
I have to rewatch the Dark Knight trilogy just to get a fresh thing in my mind, but I think Robert Pattinson did a fantastic job as Batman, and I think Riddler was a perfect match for this early 2 to 3 year Batman. The Riddler's just so good, and it's psychotic, and it's like actually scary, and like I laughed a couple times at him, but it was because I was so like thrown off guard of like what I was watching, because he's just that insane. And finally, one thing I do want to let you guys know, I do think there was some slow parts, and I do think there was some messy parts, but they did not happen frequently at all. So if you're willing to sit through some of those slow or messy parts, you guys are gonna love this movie, because the peak moments are fantastic. And this is the end of the non-spoiler review, so if you have not seen the movie, go watch the movie, and then come back here, and then we can talk about this. I'll give you guys 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's head into it. Alright, here's your folding last warning. Okay, I'll talk about my hair. Way to fold in a second. Here's your folding last warning. Leave, and we'll fold and talk about this later. We can talk about my haircut later. But folding, if you have not seen The Batman, go see it. I'm going to be spoiling stuff here. I folding promise you. We can talk about the hair in a folding second. Relax. Cut my hair. Relax. I might go shorter. I might go longer. I might need a folding shower. That would probably help my hair a little bit, because it bunches up sometimes, and I don't like it sometimes, but I think it looks okay here. Let's get back on track with The Batman. The beginning of this movie is one of the best beginnings of a movie I have ever seen. The depiction of the criminal's fear of the Batman is fucking fantastic. The one guy with the drops head, the drops are the drugs that are being traded between the criminals in this movie. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but you know, you get used to it. Just the criminal spray painting the bank and then just like looking into the shadows is fucking cool as Batman monologues over it. It's fucking fantastic. And then Batman shows up the third time to beat up this fucking group of folders that just go after this random dude. Obviously, it's shown that there's a folding kid figure, which is folding good mirror of himself. He got pushed into this life without like anyone being able to help him because of his vengeance. I will go into his vengeance in a little bit. The fight scene was fantastic, dude. Oh my gosh, just the way the music cuts off and everything cuts off and you just hear each individual punch, and then the dude's on the ground, he's gone, he's fucking done, he's not gonna fucking get back up, and Batman punches him 2 more times. I heard Robert Pattinson told the directors to like let him do that, or he improvised it, one of the two. I just thought that was amazing. They also did a bunch of like improv and a bunch of non-CGI like stunts and stuff like that, and it's fucking really cool that Matt Reeves wanted to do that in a folding superhero film in 2022, because that doesn't really happen. We get a lot of CGI rather than just folding stunts. But yeah, let's go back to the monologue. I thought that was folding fantastic way to open it. I like that it's in his journal, and I don't know, I like how he lists the date. The monologue in the beginning and the monologue in the end is fantastic. But finally, let's folding get what's on everyone's mind. The Riddler was fantastic, one of my favorite villains of all time. No one beats the Joker. No one beats the Joker. No one beats Heath. But oh my gosh, it's fantastic. The way it opens, Mitchell's just watching the TV, calling his folding, I don't know if his manager or whatever it was, but he's just there, and then he walks away, and you're like, what am I looking at? And then you see the folding TV turn back on, and you can see the Riddler just standing there behind him with his glasses, folding light going off his glasses and back into frame. It is fucking awesome. I was like, oh, folds, dude. Like, I wasn't ready for that, and that was fantastic, dude. This movie does such a fucking good job. It just, the shots are honestly amazing. They're some of the best shots I've ever seen in a folding superhero film. And now I'm going to be talking about each individual character. We're going to go Penguin, we're going to go Batman, we're going to go Selina Kyle, we're going to go Jim Gordon, we're going to go folding Alfred, we're going to go Riddler, and we're finally going to go Batman. And yeah, let's just fold and jump into it. So we're gonna go from my least favorite to my most favorite character. We're gonna start with Alfred. It's not that I think Andy Serkis did a bad job at all, because he didn't. I just feel like he just didn't get enough screen time for me to love him yet. But I think Alfred is one of the most important folding Batman characters out of everyone, and I just think he'll play a more important role in the sequel. Also, he has one of my favorite scenes from the movie where he's on his hospital bed talking about how Batman and how Bruce has to learn to let go and just not be so vengeful, and he explains like what happened with his dad and his mom and how he was willing to do anything to find out what actually happened to him, but he just couldn't. But yeah, overall I liked Alfred, but I just think he'll be better in some of these sequels. Next up, we're gonna move to Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Selina Kyle. Again, I didn't hate her character, I just thought there were some moments I just didn't love about her, and there was just it was just and I didn't really care about her friend because we didn't get like a lot of connection. It was just like, oh, she lives with her, and it's just like but she was very interesting. I think if she does appear in the sequel, which is sort of likely, it depends where, because she like moved out of Gotham, so I don't really know, but I would love to see her in the sequel, and because I think she's very interesting and a good dynamic with Robert Pattinson. But again, I didn't really care about her friend. I do, however, love that she had a connection with Falcone, and she helped teach Batman another folding aspect of vengeance and how he shouldn't be vengeance, because yes, punching a Faldo 20 times and then saying, "A vengeance," is really fucking cool. The moral of the story is that that's not very fucking cool, you know? Batman should be justice, he should not be vengeance, and I will get to that in just a couple minutes. Next up, we're gonna move to Jim Gordon, Lieutenant Gordon, I believe in this movie. Again, I don't hate this character. I just think there was better characters in this movie, and I do think he's gonna have more progression in these next couple movies because I really liked his dynamic with Batman. There was a lot of funny moments. I love the folding thumb drive part. That was one of my favorite scenes in the movie. But also, you have the folding scene when Batman folding punches him, and he's like, and then he folding after he goes up to the folding top thing, and he's like, you could have pulled that punch. And he's like, I did. I was like, okay, relax. I like their dynamic, and I think he will develop as a character in these next few movies. And I feel like that's the part of this movie that I like, is that it's folding easily setting up a sequel, and I'm really excited to see it. And then we have Folding Penguin, or Oz, whatever he wants me to folding call him. This character is just so folding goofy. I don't know how to explain him. He's just the goofiest folder I've ever seen. Batman takes out, like, folding at least 10 guys, and then he folding turns around and is gonna folding, like, kill him or whatever, and he's like, relax, sweetheart. I can't do the folding accent. Don't folding ask me. He doesn't take anything serious because he's just the Penguin. I don't know. Also, he has the funniest parts in this folding movie when he's screaming, I got you, you freak, or whatever he says. And then and then the folding Batmobile pops out of the folding fire, which is folding awesome. But just that and his folding fear in his eyes, he's like, oh, I messed up. El Rata Alada, and then he's like, it's not L, it's La. Do you guys not know the difference between L and La? Like, he's like somewhat educated in Spanish. He's like, you guys stupid. And then he gets all mad about that, and he's like, are you gonna untie me? And then I'll fold and do it. He waddles. He's like, you guys gonna let me out? You guys gonna let me out? I'm just like, what? It's just, I was like, that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. I can't fold and lie to you. He's just a goofy folder. Just a goofy man with a lot of money and a lot of drugs. You know, it's just we're easily setting him up in the sequel, and if not the sequel, his folding TV series. There we folding go. I'm so ready folding see more Penguin. Are you? Cause I folding am. We're gonna move on to the next character. Let's go. And now we gotta talk about this fantastic villain, the Riddler. His folding riddles and his folding ciphers and just all the like little things that he makes Batman do is folding amazing. They're just so interesting and they're so intricate, and I just love the way that it's like goofy and it's like fun, but it's like in the psychotic way. So you're like, I want to laugh because it's like so goofy, but it's scary in the same folding time. It's folding weird. And obviously the character takes inspiration from characters like, or not characters, I would say characters because there's movies about them, but like the Zodiac Killer. That folder sent folding cards, he literally sends like the exact same one from the first part of the movie, the one in Mitchell's crime scene. And then when he gets captured, that is one of the best scenes in the movie because he folding is in the cell and he folding is like, oh, we could have got Bruce Wayne, he repeats it, and it's folding scary, and this is where I'm debating if he knew that he was Batman, because if he didn't know, why would he send Batman away from the folding mansion? Why would he send Batman to this regular, like, location where no one else knows about it? And it's like, it could just be, like, showing him his past, but maybe he knew, and maybe he was saying his name like that because he wanted to make him know that he knew, but then he like backtracked and he's like, you know what, I want to have a little bit more fun with this because when I get out of here I can use that as my like advantage, because as soon as he knew that Batman wasn't on the folding same side as him, he folding freaked the fold out. He started singing, he started crying, it was folding weird. And the fact that he is inspired by Batman because he's like, oh, you used controlled violence and fear on these people and you folding got what you wanted, and it was like, that's not what I was trying to do at all, but that's exactly what he did, and he's folding right, and that's what Batman learns in this movie, is that vengeance is not the answer, it's folding justice. Folding vengeance is just evil justice. I think that's self-explanatory, but I just want to say that out loud because, you know, I thought that and I was like, yeah, it is, and that's what a folding kid that watched both his parents folding die because they got shot by maybe, like, intentional attack or a folding just random guy on the street. He's folding scarred, bro. So of course he wants vengeance, but he realizes through this movie and through Riddler that he cannot folding focused on vengeance. He just has to make things right, and he has to bring justice to people who deserve it. And finally, we are going to be talking about the depiction of the internet on this folding movie, because I think it's one of the most accurate and most realistic depictions of the internet I've seen a movie ever. Because everyone's just like, oh, this texting thing. Sometimes they like text and it's not even like accurate, like when they're pushing the buttons, and it's just like they could like push up here and then it's like a letter down here, and then you're like, what, and it just looks weird when they fold and do it. But this internet is just so interesting. Of course the Riddler is gonna have like an Instagram live of him like gonna like blow up folding the DA. It's folding like what is happening right now? And the most insane part, it's not that he has an Instagram live, it's that the people in the comments are saying blow him up, and they're putting demon emojis. Tell me that's not the most accurate thing you have ever folding seen, because you know, if you've been on the internet ever in your folding life, you know how messed up people are. And let's jump to folding to the Riddler having 500 followers. When I heard that, I was like, dang, you suck. Ignore that. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. That's really not that impressive, but it's behind a hidden website where they folding need a certain like code or whatever, and they're helping him attack Real's folding election celebration thing. What? Bro, and they're folding in on it. They folding go in. They're not messing around. They're folding, let's get rifles, and let's get folding masks, and then we get this and that, and they like, I guess, help him design his whole outfit and just the riddles and everything, and it's folding crazy how folding they plan this. And it's like, the scary part is like, that could happen, or something to that extent might have already happened or can happen in the future. And I think that's what one of the most folding frightening things in this movie. And then let me go back to vengeance, and let's folding talk about the end of the movie where folding Batman has to put some, I think it's adrenaline. It kind of looks like what Bane uses to fold and like get like beefed up, whatever. I don't like get folding. You know, he beats that fold up, bro. His face is all messed up after he takes off the mask, and he's like, I'm vengeance. And I was like, bro, that's when you know it folding hit Batman, that he just needs to let go of his hatred for whoever killed his parents, bro. And finally, we talk about Batman. I think there's only a few things I want to say about this, because there's not much to say. His folding performance speaks for itself. It's folding fantastic. It's folding an interesting turn on the character. And I like that it's an early Batman. I like that we're only 2 to 3 years in, and a lot of people are folding afraid of him already. Just folding that when that signal goes in the sky, it's not just a folding, it's not just a signal, it's a warning. And that folding line is just so... bro, it's just, that's folding. I got folding goosebumps from that folding line, dude. So just this folding movie, it was beautifully shot, and just all the scenes of Batman was folding great. Obviously, when folding Batman was walking up the folding Penguin's car, fire in the background, folding tough, amazing, man. Love how like Bruce is like, he's just an emo boy. He's just a little emo boy. But yeah, he's like literally nocturnal. He has folding glasses on always. Bruce does when it's folding daytime, and he's like reading this, I guess the newspaper or whatever, looking the riddle. I forget what he's doing exactly. We barely see Bruce in this movie, and I don't think we needed to see a lot of Bruce. And a lot of people were like complaining about that, and I was like, there wasn't a need, and I don't see it would make much sense. I don't think Bruce sees himself as himself. I think when Riddler says, I'm looking at the real you when you have the mask on, I think even in that moment that folding Bruce believed that. He did. He believed that he was more Batman than folding Bruce Wayne, because he hesitated to put on the cufflinks that Alfred gave him. He hesitated to folding just like accept who he was. He didn't want to fold and do anything. Rael folding was trying to convince him to like go into more philanthropy for his family because the failed Thomas Wayne renewal plan. And finally, the line that he speaks, that he doesn't care what happens to him, he just wants there to be folding vengeance. He just wants there to be justice. It's folding awesome because you see just like how he just doesn't care about his mantle, about Bruce Wayne. He cares about the legacy of his father, and he doesn't really care about the name Wayne. He cares about what his father stood for, or at least what he believed he stood for. And I think we learned at this end of the movie that he never wanted that reporter to die. He just wanted his wife not to get flamed by the folding press, because obviously they're gonna talk about that all the folding time that she was in folding Arkham. But I just cannot see how you think that he is a folding bad Batman. I think Robert Pattinson does a fantastic job. I was so folding ready for him to do a good job, and I just had a good feeling. My dad was even hesitant while watching this movie that he was gonna do a bad job, because when we folding went, I was like, what do you think of Robert Pattinson? He's like, I'm not the biggest fan or whatever. I was like, he thinks Twilight Boy, and I was like, oh, just wait. I asked after the movie, I was like, how well do you think he did? He's like, I think he did a really good job. And I'm like, I fucking told you. I had a fucking good feeling about him, and he does a fucking great job. And I like the guy. Even in interviews, he's just a little goofy. Also, a little goofy boy. I think Robert Pattinson does a fantastic job, and I'm really fucking excited to see him in the sequel. Finally, I'm going to be talking about my theories about this movie, about next movie. My one theory, I don't have much theories about this movie, but I do have a lot of theories about the next movie. My main theory about this movie is that the Mitchell's son will become Robin. It's folding bold, and it's folding a reach, I know, but I would love to be right here, because I don't hear anyone else talking about this. Just the way that Batman / Bruce looks at the kid, and it could just be a reflection of him being an orphan and his parents dying at an early age, and he just could feel for him, which is fair. But also, if he was Robin, that would be folding so, interesting to see that dynamic. He could be a little young, and the actor might not be good at being Robin, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Also, my main theories coming for next movie. I don't really have theories about the shows yet. I might talk about that on my TikTok. So if you don't follow my folding TikTok, go folding, check it out. But yeah, my main theories is that next movie, the villains, a backup villain again is Penguin. The main villain's Joker. To help him is Riddler. And there's going to be the second main villain, which is either going to be Mr. Freeze, could be in the third movie if he's not in the second one, Scarecrow, or the Court of Owls. I think those are the three main candidates for this next folding film. Folding loved this movie. I think this is one of the best folding comic book movies of all time. I'm not going to say top 5. I'm kind of saying top 5. At least top 10, because it just blew me away. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. So if you did enjoy, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you want me to talk more about the Batman, I folding will. Don't folding test me. And have a fantastic day. If you can't have a fantastic day today, have a fantastic day tomorrow. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya!